Hi guys, Paul from Warrior Tactical Systems here. In today's video we're going to talk about safety concerns with concealed carry classes. I get students that are concerned that they're going to shoot someone because they don't know what they're doing and they might accidentally hurt someone. And I also get concerns of students that are afraid somebody else might shoot them in the class that doesn't know what they're doing. That's the last thing in the world that should ever happen if you run a safe concealed carry class, okay? And we're going to discuss some of those things so that you'll feel a little bit more comfortable in taking a class and assessing, if a class is safe. So this video is kind of for that new instructor out there too. Make sure you have these things in your class structure. So the first off is this is a beginner class. This is for people that have never touched a gun. So we don't cover a ton of advanced stuff because we only have a short period to work with you. So we're going to emphasize the basics and safety. You shouldn't be doing any advanced gun handling or complex, more advanced defensive shooting type stuff. It's going to be simple and safe. Now there are a few things you can do safely, but you have to focus on those core fundamentals first. The two main reasons people have accidents is that ignorance and carelessness. So ignorance is what we're fixing in the class. And as an instructor, I shouldn't have that ignorance of not knowing how to safely handle a gun. So, you always want to look for that good instructor, and we have a video on that as well. But carelessness is an ongoing struggle, and that's something you'll have to battle against your whole life when you carry a gun for a living or you carry it day to day. You can never think that you're so good or so perfect that an accident can never happen to you. Because if you think it can never happen to you, that's when it's going to happen. You have to be humble, you have to respect that weapon. There should be no ammo in the classroom. Okay, so that's first off. When we come into the classroom setting, there's no ammunition, so a stray round can't find its way into a gun. Not that we're going to be pointing guns at each other, but we're going to handle them, and we got the beginners, so there should be no ammo. The basic safety rules have to be emphasized over and over and over again. That's what we're there to learn, and the NRA says, always keep the gun pointed in a safe direction, always keep it unloaded until ready to use, and keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to shoot. So we'll emphasize those throughout. One of the things that we do to kind of assess people's level of awareness with the gun is we do some gun handling in the classroom. The guns are empty, and we have a limited number of people at a time, but I get to see how they handle it and how aware they are of their muzzle and their skill and knowledge. And that's important when we shift out to the range. Now before we go to the range, we always conduct a range safety brief, or we conduct it at the range, I should say. And we just cover the basics, again, the fundamental rules, what to do if you have a misfire, and having that emergency plan. Now, an emergency plan sometimes can scare folks, but it's irresponsible not to have it. Basically, with an emergency plan, you're telling everyone what the plan is if something bad were to happen. I always keep a trauma kit with me, and I have my keys to my vehicle set out, and we say, okay, this is the vehicle we're going to go in. Here's the phone that we're going to use. Here's where we're going to go. What's the nearest hospital? And we have that trauma kit there. So if something were to even happen to me, everybody knows what to do. I also show pictures of gunshot wounds right before we do that, to emphasize to people the reality of what we're doing and the importance of safety. Now, we run a dry range, which is also important. That means that no guns are loaded until we get to the firing line. So we have a person load their gun, fire their rounds, and then we check it clear to be unloaded before we step off the firing line. So there should be no loaded guns behind us in any way. The biggest mistake I think that people do, besides going with too advanced stuff, the biggest mistake is too many people on the firing line per instructor. Yeah, there needs to be a safe instructor ratio, and to me that's generally 2 per instructor. Sometimes we'll do 3 if we have somebody that's really understands what they're doing, and you're confident that they can be safe from the previous training they've done. What we want is being able to physically control someone immediately, and with 2 people you can do that. You can redirect their muzzle if they were to forget and point it around or bring it around off of where they should be pointing the gun. So, the biggest part of this, guys, is, now I'll say one thing, if you have barricades between, I know some places use indoor range or a range that has a ballistic barricade between students, you might stretch out a little bit there. I understand some people do that, and they run safe classes, but that's probably the only exception, and even then you got to limit it so someone doesn't come out of there doing something goofy. So the key to all this is to have a good instructor, to choose a good instructor, and we have a video on that you can check out as well. Getting a concealed carry permit is far safer than not getting one, because once you get it, you can carry that gun and you can protect yourself and your family, and if it's run properly, it's extremely safe.